Is it mold or is it mildew? Well, you're not gonna like the answer. Mold and mildew are the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, whoever came up with this term mildew was just trying to minimize things, and it's BS. It is the exact same thing. I'm gonna explain to you how and why. First off, the term mildew comes from powdery mildew, which is literally a fungus disease that happens on plants, okay? And it is from a specific type of mold from the Ascomycota kingdom. Well, you know what else is from the Ascomycota kingdom? A mold called Aspergillus, which typically looks like that powdery, fuzzy mildew-like appearance that we've come to know as this term mildew. But Aspergillus, it's a mold. It's not anything less harmful than any other mold. And it could be a mycotoxin producing mold, meaning it could be toxic to human health. So to sit there and to come up with a terminology like mildew to make people feel better about the situation that they're dealing with, and unfortunately to be less urgent about dealing with the issue because it's just mildew, we don't have to worry about it, well, that is false information. You know what else looks like mildew and is no big deal according to some of the experts out there? Penicillium. And penicillium could actually create a mycotoxin called mycophenolic acid. Do you know what we make with mycophenolic acid? We make immune suppressant drugs. This is amazing medical discovery for someone who's getting like an organ transplant. We actually take these immune suppressant drugs to suppress the immune system so that when we get a new organ called an organ transplant, our body doesn't reject that organ. But, a big but here. If I have tons of penicillium in my house that's constantly producing mycophenolic acid, and I'm constantly breathing that in, well, now I'm dealing with a different danger. Now I've got my body being suppressed of the immune system, and it's unintentional, right? Now I'm getting sick more frequently. Now I'm developing things like chronic issues that I've never had before. These are the types of things that I hear so frequently. These are the types of tragedies that people encounter, and they become sicker and sicker and sicker. And you know what? When they had professionals come into the house, you know what they were told? Don't worry about it. That's just mildew. That's not anything to be concerned about. Just because it was lighter in color. It was fuzzy. It wasn't like black mold, right? And we have this misnomer here that only black mold is a problem for our health. And unfortunately, that is just not true. That is a huge myth that we need to debunk. Unfortunately, any mold that is capable of producing mycotoxins is going to be toxic to humans and animals. And I'm saying animals because yes, this affects our furry loved ones as well. So when you're thinking about, is it just mildew instead of mold, you need to be 100% certain that mildew is mold. If you ever looked at like a mold colony underneath a microscope, it's really interesting. You should check this out on YouTube. But it basically looks like a volcano just constantly erupting that are then constantly opportunistically entering our body with every breath that we take 20,000 times per day. When you think about how much air you're breathing, you're breathing enough air to fill up a normal sized swimming pool. This can be a great detriment to us if we allow mold to grow throughout our entire house unchecked. And so that's why it's so important to make sure we have things like dehumidifiers. When we see mold, we should be hiring somebody to remove it. And even when we're talking about like pesky mold in our shower grout, yeah, look, your shower having enough mold there to make you sick would be pretty extraordinary. Now, I've seen pretty extraordinary situations where showers are leaking and mold is growing and it's astronomical and it's causing some health issues in the people living in that next to that bathroom. However, your typical surface level mold in the shower grout is usually not enough to make you sick. But clean it and keep an eye on it, because if you remove it and a week later it's back with a vengeance, well, guess what? You might have a deeper issue there. And I'm not trying to make you scared of mold. I'm trying to make you vigilant with mold, because that's what you should be. If you see it, you should do something about it. Whether it's white, green, black, it doesn't matter. You always want to take the next step a little more seriously, because mold can grow in as quickly as 24 to 48 hours. It spreads rapidly like lava oozing out of a volcano. It distributes across our house, and just one little problem can become a much larger problem over time. But if you act quickly, again, and you're vigilant, you'll nip it in the bud. And when you do that, you never have to worry again.